Oh, gosh.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Agenda approved.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Abstain.
Minutes approved. Communications.
No, but the only thing I said, only I had a few rock calls yesterday, just enough rain. Went out and looked at a couple, went out and looked to see if they're real close to my house and they needed it. I agreed.
I had calls about the trail project. I think a lot of us got some of those, but that'll get sorted out today. And then, well, I thought there was something, I'll come back if I remember it.
I was supposed to have Pioneer Cemetery last night, but did not go because of sick kid, but
You didn't call your alternate?
Yeah.
I should have, but it didn't look like I asked them if anything was pressing and they said no. It's just the regular stuff, so that's it.
I just had some correspondence with some of the old Eastern Iowa Mental Health Board region, just to pick up some information on how the law enforcement liaison was working, the stats that they had. I was putting those together to talk to Rob about that. And then Rob mentioned that there might be some funding coming for that from the state that wasn't confirmed yet. So we're kind of holding off to see what's coming with that. So, but that was pretty much all I had.
I had coffee with the new director of EasyCog with Aaron Sandersfeld in town. We were there by a couple hours. Concerned our concerns and what she can do and what we can do for them. And it was a nice conversation. That's all I think. That's all I had. Just had some random calls from county people. Okay, we go down below. We had liquor licenses.
Motion to approve?
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Fireworks permit? Or the hospital's doing something?
Yeah.
The winery?
I'll make a motion to approve the fireworks.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Secondary roads, 27 union contract consideration. We need to get that and printed form off to our attorney, then off to them after we sign it.
I just forwarded it to you guys.
You want to take a few minutes. The only changes we made are the wages to 2.7 and the holiday.
Double time on holidays, yeah. That's only two things. And I just changed dates. That's all I ever edited on it.
That's all we should, that's all we agreed to. So you guys read it, have any questions, since we have time to wait.
Did we get that email to us?
Yeah, I just looked ago, sorry. I, for some reason, I thought it was on next week's agenda, so.
So they want us to sign it, multiple,
Just one.
the fireworks permit.
Oh, sorry.
I got that, because I usually do, because you're out of here.
What was all the changes, Kevin?
The wages, 2.7%, and then double time on holidays from time and a half.
Is what we've been agreed upon, and they agreed to accept. Just need to have it printed form, get it, and then you need to get it to the state. So you need to print it out so I can sign, and then it goes on.
You just need motion from the all.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Solutions FY 27 annual contracts for consideration.
What a racket. 7% increase? $71,000?
These reviewed, but it needs to go.
I was just, looking at that, it's crazy.
Make the program, you get it pretty much control.
There's no, I mean, no other option, probably.
Well, they're more expensive.
They are.
Yeah, like Tyler would be the next in line, but didn't we get a rough quote from them and it was double money, I think? I think I asked them.
Is there a motion to have the chair sign?
I'll make the motion.
Just a second. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Are you gonna try to print that off for me then? How do you wanna do that? The union one?
I'm gonna print off and you can sign.
Okay. Am I the customer for this one?
Yep.
Anything for next week that we can think of at the moment?
I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything that I need, but
I guess we can go to recess for a few minutes now. Does somebody have something else they want to discuss at the time?
I can't do anything.
so.
I told them to have on the 29th determination. Make sure you're aware of that on your agenda,
Okay.
as we discussed previously.
You got it, boss.
Thank you.
I'm glad you realized he's the boss. We're all just along for the ride.
Yep, that's how I feel.
On the phone call I called you about, did that get taken care of, or about the tanks? Overload tanks?
Yeah, I think so. It's a couple hour long process, but we got it. Okay.
I didn't think they get all those loaded.
No, you're not supposed to. Called, the Iowa Commercial Vehicle Enforcement people again. He gave me the rundown.
Is it only limited to 92,000?
96.
96. Yeah, loaded. I'd be betting money that it's over 96 when they're loaded.
Well, since he's kind of pushing it unloaded,
Yeah.
the tractor and the wagon alone, and so I think that, that thing fully loaded was gonna be fully loaded, the manure in there is 90,000. So. Yep, we got that done, called the guy about those signs, he's supposed to have them picked up on Monday,
Okay.
and made good notes that, that way when it happens again, we'll just send the sheriff out. The bridge on R, it is open. The cross sections are done, the inspection is done, the scour report is done. Plans were submitted to Calhoun Burns and everything was input into Sims. The bridge on HH, supposed to be closing next week, haven't really heard that much. I know that our guys were also working with the landowner there on temporary fence for cattle. And F-52 trail, Millersburg East. We had the pre-con this week, did all that discussion and everything. I believe they should be starting in mid-August is their plan. Our guys are just doing a bunch of ditching, dust control prep, and then we're sawing some patches up on M Avenue near the interstate that it kind of blew out. We'll take care of those next week. Our office, the pre-con, that takes a while to get all that set up. Road striping, I believe they came in and striped some this week. I don't know if they're 100% done, but they did do some striping. And with the bridges, HA 1700, that is a structure just east of B Avenue on 160th. And we sent those out for bids. Also, that'll be an aluminum box culvert that those designs are finished up. And so we'll have 2 lettings for culvert stuff next week.
When you use those culverts like that, is it a cost thing, or it's the amount of drainage they take, or why do you use those? You alternate between that and concrete.
Yeah, it is. It's a cost thing. They are cheaper. And then there's also a headroom thing, how high up the road is. We probably could have used a box here. This one is going to be at about a 15-degree skew, which means it's longer yet. So
You need more cover on the tube.
so longer, if you just go perpendicular across the road, you can get by with like a 36-foot top and then have it slope down. But when you skew it, now you need to go out a little bit longer and then drop it down. So we could have used a box, but this will end up being, I don't know, 60% of the price.
Okay, just got.
Yeah. No, it's things that we looked at. We also looked at putting in tubes, and I have 3 different drawings for it. The IRVM grant, that is done. I am just reviewing it. office manager and mechanic did a great job on that, so we'll review to see if we can't get some money there.
Did you say what you applied for?
We're gonna apply for, another mulching head on skid loader.
Okay.
One that's, just a different style that'll help with other things. Maybe someday in the future, we get another skid loader and we'll have two running. Summer help starts next week, couple lettings, finish up paying some rock bills here.
So at 52 trail, when you do that, that'll take how many weeks to do that?
They get 65 working days, which is 3 months.
So then do you call the school then to make sure they're aware for bus routes and that kind of garb? So that'll be,
I mean, the whole road will be open.
that'll be a flagger thing, won't it? Or
Yeah, it'll stay open the whole time. They'll figure it out, because we'll come in and do some patching first. We may or may not put up signs, the week before road construction, next week, expect delays. I think we usually do that, but
I guess it'd be nice, I think, for the school districts to know.
Right. Is
not
your,
too much school in early August, but
You know, we get that many weeks out, that's how long it lasts.
well, they should figure it out real quick if it's been under construction for,
Could you please let them know?
we'll have signs up.
is your purple wave locked over yet?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I believe most of the things have bids on them, at least 2 days ago.
I banned my husband from bidding on them. He's like, oh, you guys are selling things? He was driving through town the other day and he goes, why didn't you tell me that? I'm like, because we don't need anything.
Definitely use like an asphalt roller.
Never had too many of those sitting around.
Yeah.
Where are the bids at?
Purple Wave.
How do you find them on there? I'm looking right now.
Let me search.
I've been ringing, probably, right?
Yeah, Maringo.
Or junk.
Iowa County, how's that?
There's somebody parked in there yesterday.
Her husband.
No.
Where do you have them across from the buildings around?
Mhm. Yeah, I think that 6-way blade, that would be
He wanted the roller.
one of the roller,
3,100 right now.
the 6-way blade,
No, the roller,
Which roller though?
the
wobble wheel or the sit on?
Bros pneumatic roller. So it must be, it's a full type one.
Yeah, that's another house you need a roller for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're always messing with
What's
our
the- is that
driveway
just a
because we get so
cement
many
brick?
ruts because we're on such a hill and it's all like
That's the dozer
rocks,
blade right
so
there?
then we just get so
That's
many
not a
ruts. So we're
6-by
always-
blade,
We
is it?
have a roller, we want the big ones.
Which one's that? That might be. One of those,
That's brand new. That's that one, that was in this thing, wasn't it?
that one would be a good deal, because that thing's probably worth, 3-4 grand or something.
I bet it is.
So, yeah, that's, one start. Well, we started on projects and I got the 2 smaller things sent out for lettings this week, and next week I will start on finishing up our bigger bridge designs.
Okay, any other questions for Nick?
Come back at 10, is that right? Is that when the?
Yeah.
Hopefully they're here a little sooner, but
You may stick around or go if they're here.
it's up to you. How fast can you run if we text you? Can you make it over here in 30 seconds flat?
Yeah.
Okay.
No question.
Maybe you can nominate him for your ribbon cutting.
Long story. Okay, go back to recess, I guess.
I'll be back like a quarter till then.
Okay.
yesterday.
Oh, boy.
And they were saying how lovely the front lawn looks at the courthouse.
I appreciate that.
Give it 3 weeks, it might look a little better.
Oh, you'll do just fine. You'll be all right. Are you gonna bring your own mower over? Okay. That's fine. Anyways, started off, have an intercom in the rec room at the jail that's giving us some issues. Me and Jeff went back there. He had a spare. We replaced it and it's still not working, so had to call Johnson Controls. And I was just over there and they're here working on it now. Same thing with the fire door. It keeps alarming, but it's not alarming the main fire panel. So they're gonna look at that too while they're here. And then last week we had a 5-year sprinkler inspection at the jail and a 3-year at the courthouse. Both systems passed with no issues, and then fixed a power flush toilet down at the health department. That's about all the exciting stuff I got.
Done any more research or parts buying or whatever for the county home?
Well, to me, the windows are, what, 1970s? I'd say they probably need replaced over, and some of them, like the ones that don't even slide, I mean, I think they just need replaced, honestly, instead of buying parts.
Well, the ones that are broke, let's
Yeah.
see, not gonna replace the other ones right away, let's see what's gonna cost to replace those, because we do have a little money in there for repairs out there.
How many you got are
2 or 3 of them,
3, like with the broken panels?
right?
Yeah, there's 3 with like chipped or broken glass, and there's like 4 or 5 that the locks are busted up on.
Let's get the glass ones replaced, and the lock ones, at pretty minimal, we can fix those, and you can.
I think you could just lift the panels out and they'll slide right out. I just need to take them, bring them back here to Swifties and we'll replace the panes of glass. Unless, is there somewhere in Burke that does that? Does a lumberyard do
Just
it?
Lumberyard does it too,
Might just take them there then,
they used to at least.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I'm sure they still do.
be closer. Less chance of the glass really breaking, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
last time I did, I just dropped it off and came back later and picked them up.
okay. Yeah, I didn't know the lumberyard people did that, but. No, yeah. And then the locks, you can get the locks, and I know we talked that Brandy would let me use the locks. You can get them online, but,
I told you to talk to Brady.
yeah, I know, yeah, we've talked. I just need to get those ordered, so.
If you've got something coming up, it might take some time.
uh-huh.
They don't take that much time. Oh, yeah, he's an expert.
Well, where?
Long way.
Anyways,
Any other questions for Dylan? Good luck. Good. Good luck.
Have a good weekend.
yeah, you guys have a good weekend too.
Got her? Yep. Okay, anybody want to speak first about this?
I mean, I can, yeah, sure. These guys have a lot more knowledge than me when it comes to.
And that's who you are.
I'm Philip Brecht.
Okay.
So I just had a little bit of stuff come from, well, Abby got some, information about the trails and like maybe wanting to change and not go across out of the bridge. And so after kind of looking at that, I really had no problem with maybe the North Street crossing coming through Gateway down that trail that's already there. And then I drew a little sketch that then pretty much was the exact same sketch that, was that your rendering?
Well,
Yeah.
handwritten,
Yeah, mine was also handwritten.
same thing you guys.
Same thing, just a slightly curved trail. I see no problem with that gravel.
I see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine was very similar, just sketched on my, so little curved trail kind of follows the natural where that curve comes around out of the woods there, and then it would kind of Y off and curve over towards North Street, so that there's kind of not a 90-degree turn, but a flow to it.
Nice.
And we were kind of, I think initially with the levee top trail system, we were maybe being like, oh, we want to do the levee top, and then there's some redundancy there with a trail on both sides of the highway. We've already got a nice long section that's coming through the woods, and we'd show off Gateway a little bit. When I talked to Jacob on the phone, I'll speak for him a little bit, but he said it was very good with, like for a natural fire break and that sort of thing. So we like that. And then I just thought we'd come out on close to North Street and continue on with the gravel trail up to the edge where I think the state is requiring a paved section of concrete with a truncated dome strip.
AKA,
Blind people bump strip.
yeah.
So truncated dome strip on both sides. So we would just continue on with that on both sides and then go back to gravel again. I think keeping it all gravel and keep it nice and consistent, other than those paved sections. And I see no problem with that, and not having a crossing out at the bridge. It reduces a good amount of gravel for us. And I think it reduces like 2 gates for us that would be getting built, so.
Is that something the city has to approve?
It's right there on the limits of county and city.
County and city.
We would work with them
On that shoulder part.
on something.
The divide line is actually the center line of that street.
It is?
On the
Okay.
north side,
So you really wouldn't
it's
use
all-
the
it's all
shoulder, would you just
Okay.
go right across?
Where's that at? Well, we wouldn't come across North Street, which is the east-west road there. We would come up close to it and then curve straight towards the gate that's kind of the drive that's straight across.
Talk about like being on the shoulder.
Shoulder, ditch,
Maybe,
we would
yeah.
probably have to.
Put a culvert in or something.
I don't know if I brought enough for everybody.
That's fine.
Sure. My name's Shannon Schultz. I'm an engineer hired by the Bike Trail Association to help out the bike trail. I'll just pass some stuff out here.
So you changed your opinion since you called me.
I didn't call you.
That was a different guy. That's John.
Oh, I didn't call you, yeah.
John Hinshaw.
Yeah, and he texted me on Wednesday and said that he called a couple people. I'm like, yeah, no, this has been my kind of, as soon as I heard from Abby, I was like, oh, this seems good to me. It's a win-win, so.
So the bikers will still have to yield to the oncoming traffic.
Yeah, bikers, foot traffic, we have stop signs there, yeah. Trail stop signs,
Yes.
small, not for cars, yeah.
That's just a map of the area and, kind of see where everybody's, see what everybody's.
So they already know a path right here, so we would just do a gravel path that swoops up to North Street. And where the levee drive comes across is like right here, so that's where I have.
Okay.
Because those truncated dome strips need to be directly across from each other, which would put it really close to the shoulder.
Would that have, like, sometimes I see like bike trails and walking trails, they have like a like a double type kind of barrier, so you have to go
That's,
around and so you can't just blow right through.
Interesting question, yeah. Travis, the drainage district has requested that we put in double gates.
However, I think we need to update that. I think the primary purpose of the levee, right, is to provide flood protection. But during the flood fight, the Corps of Engineers and or their consultant or the contractors are gonna need to access that. You know, the county had talked about bollards at one point. Bollards are a barrier, right? I mean, so I think the gates probably need to be rethought. Because again, the primary purpose is,
when they do inspections, they drive it.
well, and the county drives it almost daily from what I understand too.
Some you see that have a lock and a pin and they just fall down and then you grab them.
Yeah, so that's the part about maybe they stay, but have to be some kind of
Yeah,
easily removed or quickly fall down. or
yeah, they
something.
just fall down. They just
They
lock
fall
and
down.
pin.
Yeah, so we had originally, Travis had wanted, drainage district wanted those double gates. And
I'm good.
we were gonna put them, because that's what we wanted, was like, fair enough, we'll do double gates, that would swing out of the way.
You gotta cross.
But, I think on the North Street, we're not thinking just on
And where's it gonna come back all the way up here?
and not on the North Street side. The bike trail kind of go right across here. It could be on either side. Usually on bike trails, they have, if it's like, there'll be a bollard in the middle.
And then it would just.
And
you do trail.
or, and the truncated
Where
dome
trails
strips.
now?
It's on the back.
But,
That's the
The
total.
double gates are usually
Trails actually on top of
On top of the.
utilized at skate parks, so bikes can't get in. They make them tight enough that just a skateboard or skates can get through, so that's not normally a bike trail thing, but I guess it could be.
I have one more thing to hand out, and the only reason I'm gonna share this with you is this is what the DOT's approved. I don't have a formal approval yet, because those fat white stripes are 24 inches wide to delineate the crosswalk. If we can get some final information from you guys, or whatever information we need to provide, and get a final answer in terms of what you guys want to see in terms of a county crossing. When we do our plans, there'll be a plan sheet like this. Again, this is west of town on 212. So you're gonna see pretty much the same thing there. The darker brick red, I guess, is a concrete paved sidewalk. And then the other rectangle is really just to demonstrate an ADA access. You always have to have a no more than 2% slope in any direction for 60 inches or 5 feet. Because we're on top of a levee, we're there with our grade at 2% or less. Has to be a flat. It's typically called a turning area. Technically, we don't need that here because we're not doing a turning, but still it's a very good practice to do. And we're just demonstrating that it's compliant with ADA standards by showing that. The smaller little rectangle you see there, those are the raised truncated domes. They'll be 10 feet across, match the width of the path. They're 2 feet wide. The city has said that they don't have a standard color. So the standard color that when you order or purchase those is kind of a quartzite pink color.
That's what's uptown.
There's a variety. There's also a dark brown in the downtown district where there's brick streets.
Yeah.
Kind of a dark purple, I guess. So that's kind of what you're looking at, probably, more than likely. Nick, do you have any comments on that? I mean, compared to what the DOT is doing and what the county really wants to see or doesn't want to see?
Are you gonna have the flashing lights?
Well, that's a discussion the city has brought up. I wanted to share that information as a discussion point because it's kind of interesting. The DOT is not requiring it. All right, you want to have that discussion now?
I don't know, I was just gonna pull up the page, just read what so I know the DOT gave you comments, right? Like
Yes.
4 big items, or 4 items that they wanted to see.
Yes.
I was just gonna do that real quick.
Well,
Refresh my memory.
I'll hand this out. There's 2 pages here. One's on the back, you got my copy, because you got that. Excuse me. Okay. Anybody not keys here?
I have not. No, I have.
So when I put in the request for the right-of-way work permit to install the signs, by the way, the signs are on the plan sheet. On the bottom left is the black and white page. That's our standard sign for ADA or bike trail crossings of roadways. So that's what we apply, that's what I attached to the permit application, much like I did with the city or the county, excuse me. And they approved it, other than they wanted to see, that at the time it didn't have the, as you can see, it didn't have the white 24-inch wide stripes to delineate the crossing. I think, I'm not gonna speak for Nick, but perhaps the consternation about putting in a pedestrian crossing with the white stripes is kind of, as drivers, we're all trained when we see a ped crossing is to stop or yield, right? And the signs indicate, you know, bike trail ahead, bike crossing here. But really the intent, at least from the DOT's point of view, again, this is a 55-mile-per-hour zone west of town. Their intent is the bike trail people have to yield. Traffic does not stop, and that is the DOT's intent. It's great sight distance, you know, from both the highway point of view and also the bike trail user point of view. Very good sight distance, no issues there. So that's, you know, as a highway safety engineer, that gives you comfort, you know, everybody can see everything, right? So kind of assuming the county would sort of approve whatever the state approved, that gave Nick pause, and I guess I'll let you take it from there.
Well, I believe that if you paint the stripes like we had talked about, crosswalks shall be provided at legally established crosswalks at non-intersections. And then they give a list of when you should provide the painting, and then that would make it a legally established crosswalk. And then the best I can tell, code 321, is that cars do have to yield to pedestrians. So like we talked about, you put it's your intentions, those bikes stop. As soon as they go onto that street, the cars have to yield to them. To me, that's what it sounds like. So you can go either way, but if you paint this, that's what you're getting.
Are they, is that, I just pulled up the Amana one, is that what that is? Those two lines, just randomly there?
The Amana one.
No, that's part of the railroad.
Those are
Okay.
stop bars.
No, those are part of the railroad.
Yeah, when you have the
Okay.
white perpendicular to traffic, that is an indication you're supposed to stop behind that.
Yeah, I was asking.
That one's, those are part of that railroad crossing symbol though, I believe.
Okay.
So they don't have a crosswalk out there?
No.
Or the painted line?
No, it's a new thing that the MUTCD put out in 2023, 2023.
It's evolving, honestly. The MUTCD keeps getting larger and larger. If you guys aren't familiar with the manual of uniform traffic code devices, it's kind of the Bible of traffic engineering and signage. And it's a lot of guidance. There's things that they call it a warrant. If certain conditions are met, it means it meets warrants, and there it's highly required or highly recommended, if not required, to comply with what the MUTC is recommending. Yeah.
Is there a way that we can do this, that the people have to stop and not the cars?
Well,
That's the way, that's the.
that's the way that's the way it is read in the law, I believe, would like.
Well, that's the way the DOT signage is set up.
Yeah.
Just
But
exactly.
as soon as we paint these stripes in there, then it's got the crosswalk in it.
No,
The crosswalk is an indicator for where it's safe to cross for the people using the trail.
it does not say that it has to stop, but like, if somebody was standing in the middle of the road, you would yield your car.
Right, but if I'm coming down the road, I mean, they can't just blow on through.
No, I think that with the signage and how its intent is that it is the user of the recreational trail to stop, make sure it's safe to cross, and then go across.
Correct. That's exactly how it's set up, and that's what the signing indicates. Yes.
The signing isn't saying, oh, if there's someone waiting on the side of the road, you need to stop.
Right.
It's just saying this is where we would like people to cross, as opposed to crossing anywhere you come out of the woods between there and the bridge.
The code reads, where traffic control signals are not in place or in operation, the driver of a vehicle shall yield the right of way, slowing down or stopping if need to be so yield. To a pedestrian crossing the road, slowing down or stopping if need be so yield. To a pedestrian crossing the roadway within any marked crosswalk or within any unmarked crosswalk at an intersection.
I think this is if need when they're in the crosswalk, just like you would uptown here anyway. If somebody's in the middle of the street, you wouldn't take off from the stop sign. I'm not always up.
You're wrong.
Commissioner, be quiet. No, I think it could be a concurrent fault issue if somebody, depending upon how it all plays out, I don't know, it depends on your fact situation too. If somebody blows the stop sign on the trail and goes out into the crosswalk and doesn't acknowledge the stop sign, but then it's gonna be, who says what and who did what, and who knows how that's gonna play out.
But we're down to 25 right there anyhow, right?
I was just gonna make that point. The beautiful thing about this location, when we get south by North Street versus up by where the levee crosses up north by the bridge, is the speeds. 25 miles per hour, you have just a lot more time to react.
And your sight distance.
And see each other.
Yeah.
Well, sight distance is great for both. Again, just like on the west side of town, it's very flat. Everybody can see a long ways.
You will have to change your speed limit. The 55 is right there at North Street. We'll have to move it down 100 feet.
Put on the other side of North Street. North side.
It's on the north side of North Street currently, isn't it?
The 55 an hour. Yeah, it's right as soon as
That's
you
that
hit.
right.
Going back, going out of town.
Yeah,
Correct.
but I think you want to move it down just a little bit.
That's not a huge deal.
No, absolutely. No, you're right.
But even the way that sounds like even if it's not a painted crosswalk, which obviously you want to yield to pedestrians, someone on the road, but it sounds like it's still, if it's not painted, you still yield. So it's kind of the same, right? Or not? I mean, I don't.
I can give it to, it's hard to read. Right?
Yeah, I know. I mean.
Yeah, I think that comes down to like a responsibility of driving down the road. Is if something's in the middle of the road, how do you run it over?
So the situation that we're discussing is, there's a lot of bike trails in Iowa. There's a lot of them across major highways, and the signage in the black and white sheet is traditionally all the DOT requires. So the colored handout I provided kind of talks about all, and this came from the state request, did RRFBs, rectangular rapid flashing beacons. So basically those are just solar powered. They almost look like cop car lights, that are kind of really low profile, that they go below the sign for the pedestrian sign crossing. That's where they looked at. Long story short, the state is requiring them on our first crossing, and I think I make that mention in here. Well, there's one that we're deploying with a state project. It's the first time for bike trail for the state. The state has them in other places, typically associated with urban districts, go crossing stuff, but they're starting to add them now. The MUTC does not have any warrants for our RFBs, but then the table on the back side of the second page talks about some recommendations coming from FHWA, and that's kind of how stuff gets into the MUTCD. Is there's preliminary guidance, and then there's kind of a trial period, and And whether or not it's adopted into the MUTCD is kind of based on experience. So it'll end up being in the MUTCD eventually. I'll just make a note here, just because when I did some internet research, Lincoln, Nebraska contains 16 of those sites, and there's 2 more for 2026. Both of those pictures are taken from Lincoln. And I think what's interesting is the cartoon graphic above is kind of like the Cadillac. If you could throw everything possible at a pedestrian crossing, that's what it would look like. And knowing that, and then both instances that I kind of pulled here from those Lincoln graphics, none of them have those white triangle, what I call shark teeth. That kind of serves the same purpose as that 2-foot wide perpendicular stop bar. It's just an indicator where traffic is supposed to stop. Again, they don't have these. The picture on the right is basically a residential area showing a 25-mile-per-hour area. I do not know the speed limit on the left side of the picture, but looking at how urban it is, looking at how narrow those lanes are, it's probably not 35 or less. But again, it's also a very dense commercial area as well. So that's just kind of food for thought, because the state asked us to look into it or discuss it. I thought that was an interesting point of view. And then on the backside, the stuff I've highlighted in yellow on your second page, sir, kind of what applies to this location for both either west of town on the highway or north of town on the county road. We are less than 9,000 ADT. I think it's around 3,200. That's the number 1 criteria. And then we got 2 lanes. And so that dark circle with the 1, if you go down below and kind of the bottom of that graphic, it says, given the set of conditions in a cell, the black circle signifies that the countermeasure should always be considered but not mandated or required based upon engineering judgment at uncontrolled crossing locations. Uncontrolled means there's no signal. So, and then the little 1 on the right there kind of ties into that same deal. High visibility crosswalk markings, which is the 24-inch wide stripe. Parking restrictions, not an issue. Adequate nighttime lighting levels. That's something the city had mentioned, that there is a street light in the south quadrant of that intersection. That kind of nice, I guess, and serendipity, if you want to call it that, just nice to have it there. And then that's really all that applies. So just kind of food for thought for bike trail considerations cost-wise. For a pair of these online, you can buy them for about $3,600. So probably double that for installation and labor. That's kind of what you're looking at for a cost price point. The reason that the DOT and with Snyder's project crossing another trail, or crossing a highway with a trail, it's on Highway 169, and the traffic does exceed 9,000. And that's why it was warranted. And that's why they're putting them in. So here with the 3,200, I think it was last I checked. It's one of those things that it's an option. It's not warranted exactly, but it's a nice safety device. With the 25 miles per hour, you know, these things are visible for a long ways away. You know, maybe perhaps more appropriate on the west side of town for the state crossing.
Yeah.
Here with 25 mile per hour zone, in my opinion, it's a little overkill. You know?
My thought is that it might cause more confusion, people thinking cars need to stop for them then. If they're.
Absolutely, flashing lights, right? We're
Well,
all
cars
trying.
will stop
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
yeah, that'd give people more of a, oh, I can just go out here and cars must stop.
Yeah.
Personal.
So shared with you all the exhibits I have. I guess if it's possible, after the discussion, if it's possible from an engineering standpoint or from a project going forward standpoint, if we can come to some recommendations or kind of requirements that you guys want to see on this crossing, and I'll jot them down, put them in the plans if we need more discussion or if wants to.
Are you gonna put in like a culvert to extend that side of the road?
Yeah.
Or a shoulder or something?
Where it's coming up out of Gateway?
Yeah.
When Doug and I talked on that, and Nick did mention something about that, like where we're coming up towards the road, I believe there is some water flow there sometimes, so Doug had mentioned putting a culvert in.
There's not a culvert there now, if I'm right. I was just out there.
Oh, up near where it comes, the trail would potentially come up to North Street?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no culvert there now, but there is a slight ditch, so I think that might.
Oh, there's no culvert running underneath the road there?
No.
North and south on the west side, there is no culvert.
Okay.
It looks like to me, it kind of just swirls around and maybe goes north into that low area.
Yes,
And
that
on the
does.
south side of the road, you can see in the graphic, there is a very formal ditch on the south side.
I would-
Wraps around to the south.
So where I was thinking culvert was like maybe where they're coming up to North Street and turning. I didn't know if there needed to be something there in case that ditch fills up with water. East, west along.
Well, I guess what I'm kind of seeing is the trail as it goes west would probably be 2 feet away. There'd be a 2-foot grass barrier or grass boulevard, right? And then 10 feet of trail.
Yeah.
Right? And that would be kind of sheet flowing, whatever's on the street, sheet flowing north across both the grass boulevard and the trail. So then it would just sheet flow into what's left of the ditch. So in that regard, the culvert would not be required.
So you just need to add dirt basically to
Yes.
get the wide,
Yes.
the width.
Yes.
I got lost.
I figured there was a culvert running across the North Street, but
Like there, yeah, oh, there is.
It goes cattywampus across the road into some sort of intake. All that water that sits there, it goes under B66
To the east.
to the east, southeast.
Southeast under there, yeah.
But isn't that shoulder wide enough that you could just put on
Maybe
like a 6-foot? Maybe it's not. I thought there was like 6 foot. There's plenty of shoulder there, I thought, because that's where all the kids park for baseball.
It's a very gentle sloping ditch, probably between 6 and an 8 to 1. And you got a generous, maybe 46 feet of gravel outside the concrete road.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's plenty of room to do those maneuvers, but I think
If we set it off, then we're not running people's parking on the side there.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And visually too, that little 2-foot strip of grass would kind of help visually separate the two.
Yeah.
Again, we're at 25. Plenty of trails everywhere are right immediately adjacent to the road into 25.
The grass still would be nice.
But that 2-foot separation, I think, is a nice little feature. And then if something has to happen with utilities, you got a place for utilities. You know, whether they're franchise utilities or city utilities. Or county utilities.
you're okay with that? I mean, if they need to.
So something that hasn't really been discussed at all, you know, the trail in the park around the lake on lake is 8, and the levee trail is gonna be 10. I guess you have choices what to do once you cross over, B66 and go west. You can make it 8 or you can make it 10. I guess that's totally whatever you guys want to do. As a bike trail committee and also maybe as a county, because it's kind of your trail too. It is your trail.
That don't make any difference to me, I guess. It'd be more up to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, either width would be fine with me, I think.
Be a little less expensive to go with 8, a little less grading, a little less filter.
And then go 10, you mean on
The levee
East side.
itself, the levee
Yeah.
proper is gonna be 10. Okay.
Yeah, whenever it comes out and we cut off there, I mean, 8 foot would probably be more than enough.
We'll probably do the concrete sidewalk in pairs, so they'll be 10. It'll neck down to 8 probably. After you get on the sidewalk.
concerns?
No. I mean, sounds like they have a plan for what they want to do next to North Street, so that's
You're okay.
And then the crossing, yeah, we'll put up, you guys can put up your crossing and we'll move the speed limit sign down just a bit so the cars aren't speeding up before they hit it.
I was out there today, before the meeting. Southbound, they're not going 25.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. And no, I think, moving it closer to town there, a lot of traffic goes in and out of the ball field, so people are slower. You don't have the bridge, guardrail and all that blocking any views, so I think moving in town will be better, and however you get that path to V66 there is up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I like riding through Gateway because it's a beautiful section of wooded trail right there. It's a gem.
So what's interesting, I believe, when I was talking to these two gentlemen here is they want to connect with that trail around the lake a little further west than right next to those trees.
That's fine.
Because they use it as a fire break, I believe. And also they have a winter maintenance road that they mow. But you can kind of see it in that.
Yeah, you can see it mowed
Well,
there.
we can completely delete that grass trail. If you throw this in, people are gonna want to get on that rather than on the trail. So
Yeah, West Shoes.
it's, you're taking mowing away from us, so that's fine.
You're good with it? Jacob?
You have concerns?
Yep.
Better alternative down by the bridge, so, yeah, I mean, you always have concerns when people are crossing the highway, but.
This is a way better solution.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we're kind of doing what the state's doing too this way.
Yeah, I think we should do what the state's doing, just to
Agreed, yeah.
follow the
Same
line
sort of
across.
crossing.
Yeah.
So
100%.
that, just to be clear, ADA truncated domes, check. Concrete sidewalk, check. The question, I think, is the 24-inch wide parallel ADA crossing stripes.
I think we should. If you're asking me my opinion, I would say yes. I don't know why we wouldn't, just because I think I don't know that you're gonna have more liability if you don't, but at the same time, if it's there and it's not on ours, somebody's gonna blame us for it regardless.
And I'm a fan of being consistent.
Yeah,
honestly.
correct. That would be my recommendation on that.
What's gonna be expense to us? The county?
I don't think.
Somebody's gonna have to continuously stripe it, and then we would probably be responsible for those, as soon as they put in the signs, the county would forever be responsible for the maintenance of those signs.
If it's on our road, it's gonna be our responsibility.
Pretty minimal.
Yeah.
My opinion. Sorry.
As long as you got a can of spray paint.
So you're doing Dylan with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan's here later. We'll tell that later.
Yeah, I mean, if, I don't know what your thoughts are on the blinking lights, I don't know, but.
They're not putting them on 212?
No, I don't, just because of that 9,000 ADT threshold.
I'd stay away from it.
I think it just causes confusion.
What happened to my idea, we just station one of you supervisors out there 24 hours a day.
That sounds great.
Sash on a stop sign.
So, are we thinking to have signs without the flashing light?
We can only work 1 hour a week,
But
so,
it just would, these are traffic eye. These.
yeah, we can only work an hour a
So
week.
that those signs.
There would be trail crossing signs.
100%, and those signs, the sign layout is in the black and white ledger sheet showing our standard sign layout. So basically, for every time you're approaching the crossing as a roadway user, you're gonna see two signs. One is gonna be kind of a ways away from the intersect or the crossing. It's gonna say pedestrian crossing ahead. And then right up by the crossing, there'll be another one, and there'll be a little down arrow showing where this crossing is. And that's what you see. In fact, you can see it exactly the same thing here, except minus the little flashing beacons.
Yep.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, I think that would definitely make it a lot safer.
Yeah. Yeah, so just, in the, opening remarks for the MUTC manual, they make a comment that, signage is intended, to be purposeful, and the more you put in, the less effect they all have, because people just get, neutral to them, or there's so many of them that they stop responding to them. And so that's why warrants are kind of a thing. If it's warranted, it should be done. If it's not warranted, it shouldn't be done. So the idea of less is better is kind of an overriding principle when it comes to MUTCD signing standards. And my mentor, when I was very young, he said, "When opt, opt not." And I've held that with me my whole career, so.
Any other questions from the board? So we have a motion to allow, I assume,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved.
Thank you, sirs and ladies. Question, we do have an approved letter from you guys basically showing support. I don't think we need another one, but we do need a right-of-way work permit from the county to put the signs in. And here's, on the south side of the road, we're gonna need city permission, right? I'm pretty sure that's part of the city annex, right? The east side on the south, so we're gonna have to put some signs in there too, and we've already kind of got
That kind of worked out.
yeah, but now they want a culvert and they also want concrete pavement all the way on the north side. So this is gonna be interesting to see how that plays out.
With the city? Yeah. But that's county.
I think it might be annexed into the city because isn't that the city park on the east side?
Lions Club Park?
The Lions Club?
Yeah.
I believe it's city, yeah.
So they might have, I mean,
And where do they want that?
on the north side, all the way, paralleling the street until we turn north. They want to see concrete sidewalk along there, along the north side, which is on county property. So that's interesting. And the culvert, same issue kind of thing. The culvert has quite a bit of the expense.
Yeah.
Honestly, everything else is basically just dirt and gravel, you know, and signs.
Where's this culvert?
It would be parallel to B66 on the west side. They want it to be north-south, basically, to connect those ditches.
Oh, to connect where?
Isn't there a crossover though, where that intake is midpoint on North Street? So I just moved around.
I think this is where they want to go. And I don't know why there's not one there today. And it's just an interesting request.
The cul underneath the road?
Yes, which means tearing a concrete street, you know. We've got some utilities there. There's a quasi box on the northwest side. There's streetlights on the southwest side.
Wait. They want a culvert under North Street,
Yes,
but that's got nothing to do with this project, and I don't.
that's why it's an interesting request.
They want the county to put it in?
No, they want the bike trailer for them with the project.
But we're not crossing that street.
No.
Yeah, okay, all
No,
right.
we're not.
You.
And it's not there right away on the north side, it's only right away on the south side.
That's where
Which we're not, this one, everything other on the south side, other than the sign installation.
But why would they want one at all?
I don't, I can't.
Or who? No.
Well, all right, well.
Usually great, I would think that all water wants to support explosion 174.
Well, I don't know if it's more sending it anywhere because it's so flat. It just might be like an equalizer pipe.
Sure, but
No, but there's already one.
Oh,
There's
further.
no, there's one that comes, goes under the diagonal underneath that intersection.
Yeah, where is the existing?
There's not.
Sorry,
Okay, that's right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's not. No problem. This.
Well, they can have that chicken turkey, that hat, they make it.
And then that was somewhere.
What?
They make a hat that says, like your chicken. It's got.
Okay, so that's that.
Oh.
There's a very. This is all.
Chicken, you know, chicken.
Yeah.
That's on there, right? Your chicken on there.
Yeah, and there's some sort of pipe here that goes over to an intake or something over here. And it does drain.
Unless, again, they want to use that.
I just want to make everyone aware we're 30 minutes over our hour already. So this is getting into the danger zone. We're getting time, we're gonna have to have time and a half here.
That's not, that's gonna be so
Yeah.
much money.
So, I mean,
That's gonna be so much money, because that pipe is gonna have to be,
Concrete,
in what, 80 foot? Because it's gonna be down deep.
and
I mean,
It's a city, that's a city.
thousands and
I don't think that
thousands.
has to do with the bike trail.
And
That's a
with
city
that-
thing, we can probably do this outside here.
yes, I'm sorry, we should.
Well, and but the request, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, Nick needs, I mean, if it's half of it is county right away, they probably should let you know if they're gonna put a culvert in. I mean, you probably don't care, Nick, but
Not unless they want the culvert in the ditch along North Street, a little 15-inch culvert that runs parallel.
That's what I originally thought, maybe they were talking about.
Because we're crossing.
Because
the
they
road.
thought, I think they thought we were coming right up to
Oh, for the bike trail crossing.
Yes,
There.
yes.
That makes way sense.
Because Doug and I talked about that, and I said, what, 18-inch culvert, and he goes, 12, so that makes more sense than tearing up a road.
yeah.
Right, that makes very good sense.
Probably just adding to
Well,
that.
you know,
I think it
well,
goes a little bit.
yeah, that's true. Well, I have a drawing actually, there, showing.
Really?
Thank you.
We can go take a look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, have a good weekend.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. McKay, I need something for you real quick. As we need it. Good. Yeah.
Is this landlocked? I think
Yeah.
I might have mentioned
Yeah. I'll work on that, that ball rolling again. We'll do. Thank you, you bet.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those say nay. Your turn. Don't forget, I got